So, I want to go ahead and clarify something just so that way people can get a little bit of an understanding of the reason that, you know, interpersonal sexual assault is a topic that I had to learn a lot on, because obviously I did have to do the whole sensitivity training, diversity training, and everything. But ironically, me doing that, it wasn't because of me being the perpetrator, all right? The instance that sparked the whole situation. When I was in high school, all right, my sophomore year, I was 15 years old. All right. I had actually gotten invited to the prom, which was the senior prom. All right. I had gotten invited by somebody who they were either 18 or 19. All right. The event that ended up going ahead and, causing the issue for the school in general. Well, the person had talked me into having sex with them, and I didn't think it was a big deal. I didn't think that it was a, you know, circumstance that was going to change the trajectory of the rest of my life, and I didn't think about the factor of how close minded and old fashioned my family is. Well, her name is Shannon Witten, alright? Another thing that I didn't know was apparently her family was pretty racist, so, you know, that ended up causing a whole nother set of issues. But the senior prom wasn't held on location at the school. It was actually held at the Bellport Pavilion in Bellport, New York. But yeah, I ended up losing my virginity in the bathroom stall. You know, but after the incident ended up happening, and keep in mind, despite the fact that I was personally asked as her date, uh, pretty much prom ended up being a group event, and there was a few of us that ended up being invited that, weren't seniors. Didn't know whether it was a hazing or what the circumstance was that caused so much commotion, but after after the prom ended up happening, Shannon just never said another word to me again. Like, I mean, literally, she saw me in the hallway, did not talk to me, just walked right past me, pretending not to even see me, you know, pretending not to even remember me, nothing like that. Just completely and totally pretended like I didn't exist. I took the hint. I'm like, got it, understand. It is what it is. Well, not too long after that, there were attempts to try to have me harassed out of school. Alright? Now, because of the whole situation, I ended up getting put into a group home. Alright? Now, I didn't understand that technically with the circumstance because of the factor that I was 15 and she was either 18 or 19. That ultimately it ended up causing some legal problems for her. So the school ended up having to go ahead and try to, you know, try to get the issue fixed, while at the same time trying to keep it out of court. But because of the attempts to try to keep it out of court, there were people that did this whole smear campaign to try to twist the narrative. Alright? So there were a lot of people that were believing that, I was a sexual abuser and a rapist and stuff like that. But that was the narrative that the other person had to spin to go ahead and try to not end up on the sex offender registry. I also didn't understand that technically, because of the age difference and the legalities, you know, And with how close-minded my mom is, I didn't know that behind my back she was actually trying to pursue charges against Shannon for statutory rape. So that's how the conversation of me and rape and court ended up intertwining, and school, but complete and total reversal of what the circumstances were. Now, ultimately, from what I've heard, because I've heard different stories as far as I've heard that the school is no longer even around anymore. Other stories that I've heard is that the school no longer allows for any years whatsoever to have a prom, either which way, in some way, shape, or form, extracurriculars ended up going ahead and being impacted, if not the total capability of the school to be able to operate. And the thing that was different about this school was they actually had offered, career training, which was part of the reason that I had gotten put into that school in the first place, because I technically was advanced despite my learning disability. So it was a school meant to go ahead and help recognize individuals' strong points to be able to help them extracurricularly to be able to advance. Ironically enough, in the process of the whole legal factors and everything, that was also when the first instance of traumatic brain injury ended up happening, which was somewhere between 18 and 19 in the basement of the house that I grew up in. It ended up getting exacerbated, completely changed my personality for a long while. But the situation ended up going ahead and getting exacerbated when my head went against the steel stool in the concrete repeatedly for a month and a half, forced to, sleep off the concussions after, getting racially profiled. So the details obviously are pretty screwed up. But imagine your life going to hell because of the factor that ultimately you're getting judged on your demeanor and your attitude, but your demeanor and your attitude changing is actually a result and literally a symptom of CTE, which is a sports-related injury, and ironically enough, despite, most people having the outlook of, oh, just because of being a gamer and everything, automatically lazy, not physically active or fit whatsoever. Well, ironically enough, despite not being able to lose weight, growing up, I was always playing some type of sport, whether it be baseball, soccer, football, handball, literally, like anything that I could. Constantly playing basketball. To this day, from the point of the free throw line forward, I can go ahead and be able to hit nothing but net from anywhere from the half court point. So,